Oh, here we go, ladies and gents. We've got a treat. We've got the man, the myth, the legend. That is Mr. Barry Nolte on the Zoom. You may have seen Barry before. He broke the record, previous coaching record that I personally have, 62 pounds in 12 weeks. Was that correct, Barry?
Yeah, that's right.
62. We've literally just finished up 6 months together. Last Monday, we're recording this a week after we finished. But just tell everyone, what was your final 6 month result, Barry?
I was down 84 pounds. So I think that's dead on 6 stone, isn't it?
it's, it's a ridiculous amount. It's I worked out it's 38 kilos and 6 stone. So on average, a stone a month for 6 months in a row.
Yeah.
Unreal, unreal. Now a lot of people are going to see a result like that, and it's fantastic when someone does so well, but it's almost unbelievable for most people. So we have to keep you under wraps and just release your testimonial to the right people. Otherwise, people won't believe me. I'm joking.
Yeah.
So look, you've come to the end of the 6 months. Tell everyone, firstly, that didn't see the first 12-week testimonial. Um, how were you feeling before at 277 to how you're feeling now?
I kind of I felt awful before. Um, Problems with my sleep, um, my kind of health in general. Not, medically ill, but didn't feel great. Falling asleep, almost falling asleep at work, almost falling asleep driving distance. In fact, even at the end of the day, driving a short drive home, I could have easily fallen asleep. So I think that was the point in which I thought, right, I've had enough of this. I need to do something about it because I'd looked into, sleep issues, and it wasn't a good outlook. So I just thought, let's do something about it now before it's too late, and somebody tells me it is too late.
So you took the plunge. We did the first sort of 12 weeks, 90 days or so, 62 pounds. And the previous record, not that anyone's counting, even though everyone is, was 49.5 pounds from a Scotsman called Gary Thompson, who's still rather pissed that you've broken his record. But he's secretly half pleased as well. Um, why do you think what we did worked so well for you?
Um, well, as you know, there's nothing in it that you don't admit isn't out there for everybody to access.
That's true.
Um,
That is true.
like I said before, the money that I laid out, the reason why I wanted to lose the weight, um, the accountability, um, and I guess all of those things combined kind of gave me that mindset that I wasn't gonna half-ass it, so to speak. I was going to put my full energy into it, or my full commitment into it, and that got me the results that it got me. The only thing I wish I'd done, and I thought about it at the start, and it's kind of standard, I guess, is taking photos before. I mean, I knew how big I was, and I said to you 3 or 4 weeks in, I don't need to see the photos to know how much it's changed me. However, I don't know. It's something you can feel very smug about at the end of it. And I suppose at the end of the day, I feel kind of whilst I paid you for your services, I find it kind of feel it would have been good for you and your business going forward for me to have gone, there you go, there's fat me, there's skinny me. Here's a video of my first weigh-in or something. Here's a video of my last, because then it's irrefutable. Because somebody could, I mean, when I look at it myself, I keep looking back at the weights that I've tracked previously. I'm thinking, have I got something wrong somewhere? But then I look back at the first call we had, and I was 277 pounds. I know that for 100% fact. But I've only got my Fitness Pal app to say that I've done it because I hadn't taken a photo, but I know I was that. And now, if I'd have done it at the end, I'd have said, there you go, this is me, at the start. This is me now. And therefore, naysayers and whatnot would have been just like, right, well, that's irrefutable. So yeah, there is, it is what it is.
But there's always going to be naysayers. They get naysayers. There's people that don't believe in calories. There's people that don't think calorie counting works. I'm like, well, evidently I've got hundreds of clients that this works for. So unless that I just happen to choose the lucky clients that counting calories works. And so you mentioned obviously the accountability. Just tell everyone why that made a difference and how that sort of worked in the program, because a lot of people I speak to a lot of people every week. Some join the program, sometimes a couple do, sometimes I'll speak to 4 or 5 people a week, but no one will join for whatever reason. And it's usually because they don't really understand how this is going to work, and maybe they see the results and think that's never going to work for me. So maybe they don't trust the process, they don't trust me, or they don't trust themselves. But tell me, because everyone mentions the accountability, and that I know is one of the most important parts of the program. But just tell everyone what made the accountability work for you and why that was important.
I guess because it's easy to be accountable to yourself. You can be your own harshest critic at times, but you can also let yourself off lightly in that same instance, can't you? I haven't been to the gym today. Well, there's always tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, and then it's like there's always tomorrow. Whereas, the group philosophy or the whole idea behind the group, I suppose it's a bit like going to a Weight Watchers club or something like that, where you're all sitting around telling each other this, that, and the other. I would imagine it's similar, but then you turn around and say, right, well, what are you going to do this week? And in the training programs that you've got on your app, you say, right, well, this is what I'm going to do. So you're not only positively reinforcing it to yourself, but the rest of the group are hearing you and say, right, well, if you're going to do that, you turn up next week and tell us you've done that. And I think if you don't, then it's kind of obvious that you haven't done, because your weight's not going down, and if you can't solve it over a couple of weeks, you're obviously not tracking something properly, or you're kind of making excuses, this, that, and the other. So I'm sure there's probably plenty of people who'll turn up in the group and go, yeah, I've done this, I've done that, I've done the other, and I'm down at this now. But they're kidding themselves. They're just wasting your time, their time, the money they've given you, and the whole process. So it's that accountability that I found. It's not a forced accountability. It's nothing severe. It's just, this is what I'm going to do, and it just makes it easy to go do it.
Yeah, I get it. And look, just to quickly on the people that say that the method that I use to help people lose weight, which by the way is just a one tool, controlling calories, being in a deficit is the only way that someone can lose weight, regardless of the method. So do you have to track calories to lose weight? No, you can guess. But in my experience, we're very poor at guessing, even if you understand calories very, very well. Just like you can guess the money coming to your account and you can guess the payments going out of your account. But unless you have a rough idea, you're going to get into trouble. And people that don't understand what we do think that counting calories is something you have to do for the rest of your life. So to that, what have you learned about nutrition and yourself and your own eating habits? Because the counting the calories, as I say to everyone, it's just a method to get us to where we want to go, but it's not something to stay on forever. So what have you learned about nutrition and your own eating habits within this last 6 months?
Well, I would say that pre anything that we did together, I was obviously eating way too much. Like I said before, I could easily go out and Greg's for breakfast, then something not particularly healthy for my lunch, and the same again for my evening meal. And in time, that is going to mount up. Now I'm aware that if I have a breakfast, the chances are it'll be, a protein packed breakfast, eggs, bacon, uh, the turkey bacon,
Hmm.
even normal bacon's good. But it's all in moderation. Like I said, just a little bit ago, that I had a Chinese the other night, but instead of nailing it all in one go, I split it over 2 nights. And that, that's, it kind of teaches you that previously you were going way over the top, or I was going way over the top with what I was eating, and there was no need to do that.
Yeah,
Also, I'm making different choices. If I have a yogurt, I'll have a yogurt with strawberries, because strawberries obviously you can eat more strawberries instead of sweets later on, and it's more filling. So I
yeah,
tend to go now for the things that are going to keep me fuller for longer, and not so much of the snack. Not so much
yeah,
crisps, things like that. But then again, nothing's kind of off limits. It's kind of
yeah.
all moderation, and that's what it's
So
taught me.
moderation is the key word, which a lot of people don't believe in. And clearly, evidently, it works very well. And it's being learning to be more mindful. Would you say that's a good way of
Yeah,
like
definitely.
making better choices and
Yeah,
knowing that if you do have a burger and chips, you haven't shit the bed, you haven't failed, you haven't blown it, you can still lose
yeah,
weight come Monday, come the weigh in, because it's what you do collectively over a week or two in terms of habits and nutrition.
yeah.
And that's the key. Yeah. I mean, look, 84 pounds is an amazing result. I'm glad you've feeling so good. You've been like star pupil, teacher's pet, although you haven't really. Uh, just quickly, I know you're a busy man. For the people that are watching this, would this, some are sitting on the fence, many conversations where people don't join. What would you say to the ones that were potentially thinking about coming to the program in terms of should they do it, should they not, and has it been a worthwhile investment on your part over the last 6 months?
Well, I will say, I will go back to our first conversation, maybe our second conversation, where I'd already agreed I was going to do it, and then you dropped the bomb of how much it's going to cost, and I was like, Christ! And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it, and it's the best money I have spent. I'm trying to think if I've spent what better. No, I haven't. I haven't spent
You
anything
haven't.
better
No, no
anywhere.
one's no
No,
one's
I
spent this,
haven't.
the money that this program costs. We won't go into that now. You you
It
can't put a
is.
price on it.
No, you
You can't
can't.
put a price
You
on it.
can't. You can't. And that's all there is to it. If you are in the realms of looking to lose weight, you're obviously of that mindset already, and just I would just do it. If you're thinking about doing it, do it, because you obviously need to.
There we heard it. We heard it there from Barry. And look, Barry, my man, 6 months, beautiful relationship has come to an end. And I always say, obviously my aim is to work with someone for as long as possible. And of course, there's always more things that people can learn. But what I've realized over the years, sometimes someone will get a great result and naturally they have to stop and move on to the next thing. And I'm 100% happy about it. Apart from the fact we're going to miss you in the group, a lot of good guys in there. Like we're looking up to Barry, so thanks for being an amazing client. But here's why Barry got the result. Showed up to every group coaching call, filled in his feedback form, held himself accountable, followed the plan. If I said this is going to work, he followed it. He didn't do his own version of it. And it's not like I'm shouting at anyone like a sergeant major or a dictator, do this, do this. I showed him what worked. He followed it. Guess what? He got results beyond what anyone could hope and expect. So, gents, if you're watching this and you're struggling with your weight, it all starts with a 15-minute call. That's what me and Barry had 15 minutes ago, 6 months ago. Go to gavgillibrand.com/book a call, all one word, book a call. We'll grab 15 minutes. The worst that will come from that call is I'll give you a plan and a couple of things you can put into action straight away. And hopefully we can do some work together. So, Barry, we'll leave it there, my man. Thanks for everything. Thanks for the last 6 months. Thanks for giving me the best testimonial